Live from the Talking Joe studios.
It's Talking Joe with Chief and Ben. Hey, 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 it's me, the Chief. I'm joined by my good buddy.
It's me, Ben. How's it going, Chief?
Yes, very well. Yourself?
I'm good, man. Real good.
Pumped.
Yeah, pretty pumped. Feels like there's a lot going on.
Well, we've got a lot going on. We've got an Easter special coming out this Friday. Stay tuned.
Easter. Man, I've been looking for some sweet Easter eggs for myself, and they're just so small now.
I thought you didn't partake in the chocolate.
No, I do.
Oh.
I do, especially at Easter, but they're just so tame. The eggs are like half the size of what I remember.
Yeah.
And they don't come with any bars.
I remember one Easter before me and the missus were living together, and I thought I'd give her a surprise visit. She was living in a one-bed studio flat. I thought I'd give her a surprise visit, and
What, with some eggs?
no, I knocked on the door and turned up, and she was like, "Oh, I wasn't expecting you." Went into her kitchen, 6 Easter eggs she'd bought for herself lined up on the counter.
6?
Yeah, she'd just been to Tesco. They had a ridiculous deal that was something like buy one get 2 free.
Yeah, they can't give them away.
And so she had bought 6 Easter eggs, and she was a bit embarrassed.
Wow. Didn't want to see the Chief, just wanted her eggs.
Correct. Correct.
What have you been up to, mate?
So, still cracking on with Halo, and it got to a point where I thought I cannot play this game anymore. It's literally one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. It's just so hard. I'm playing on Legendary. It's just not fun.
Look, you are playing it on Legendary, though, so you can't say it's not fun. There's other settings that are probably the perfect balance of fun.
Yeah.
I don't know. If I feel like when you're playing something on the hardest setting, it needs to be almost impossible. Don't you think?
Yeah, maybe. But
anyway. Double O on GoldenEye, I think,
on
had the
GoldenEye,
perfect balance.
Yeah. The other thing I did this week was I watched Into the Spiderverse.
Did you? Because it's out. Yeah, we bought it.
Oh boy.
Geez.
Oh boy. So
That's in. Before you say anything,
Yep.
it's in possibly my top 10 films of all time.
Okay. Get ready. Having watched this, I know that I obviously read a lot of comics, but it's kind of reaffirmed that I have no interest in ever reading another Spider-Man comic. I have no interest in the next Spider-Man movie that's coming out, and Into the Spiderverse was, holy moly, this is probably the greatest film I've seen in the last 5 years.
There we go.
This is incredible, this movie.
Yeah, because it's had love and thought put into it.
Everything.
So many of those films don't.
There's one thing, I still found some of the animation during a lot of the action scenes was a little bit too jilted and jarring. I don't know, it wasn't that smooth. I guess that was the style they were going for, but that still just detracted a little bit for me. But otherwise, the storytelling, the emotional beats, the plot, the actual arcs, the Easter eggs, the script, just everything about it was just, the visuals just popped. It was just like,
yeah, the visuals were a perfect hybrid of a comic book actually moving. You know, the way they put the kind of words in and stuff. I think I know what you mean about the animation style. It's it is that style. It's kind of juddery.
It wasn't all the time. It didn't feel like it was all the time though. It was just like certain scenes, especially when characters were running. It just felt. I don't know. It did, but you know, that is a minor quibble. But on the whole,
it took everyone by surprise for sure. I mean, the thing is that you can't do that live action, can you? You cannot make that film live action.
No. And that's why I liked it, I think. If they made that as a live-action Spider-Man movie, I would still have the same opinion of Spider-Man, that he's an absolute douche.
But imagine if you... Wouldn't it be cool if you could have... I would trade all of the MCU films to be done in that style.
Okay, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because it just makes so much sense. You've got so much freedom. You can really do a comic book justice. Whereas the trappings of live action, you know, there's just certain things you cannot do. Yeah. As you say, sometimes they can look goofy.
But yes, no, very impressed. But commercially didn't do too well?
To be honest with you, I think it did exactly what they expected, but the kind of the critic acclaim and the fact that it won an Oscar has made it massive and kind of will green light a lot of sequels, and I think those would be much more successful.
Okay, I guess
still a hard sell, unfortunately.
I guess we need to talk about Star Wars.
Oh, CouchCon, dude. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I was just watching all of the panels from Star Wars Celebration, just live streaming them. Absolute heaven. You don't need to go to a Comic-Con when you can just do CouchCon.
Yeah.
Incredible. Dude, I'm back on board. I've really got back into Star Wars this weekend.
You had burnout for a long time.
Burnout massively, but not... Burnout implies that I was sick of it. I wasn't sick of too much. It was just the quality of what I was getting was disappointing.
Right.
But that trailer, apart from the bit at the beginning, which I'll give a pass because modern cinema just does stuff like that. You know, all that slow... I just don't like slow motion in Star Wars. Silly.
Yep.
But there were some scenes where you had all of the heroes and 3PO in the desert, and it just looked like Return of the Jedi, and it looked like a really fun adventure. And then at the end, when you get the Death Star and you get the cackling of the Emperor, I was like, oh,
you're in.
It just makes sense that he's in it. If this is the film that ends everything and wraps it all up, you have to have the Emperor in it.
Yeah.
But you weren't into it.
The teaser trailer. So I've not watched any of this, any of the panels or the con stuff.
Apart from the one trailer.
You sent me one of the snippets of the panels. John Favreau talking about the TV show, which was quite cool.
Carl Weathers is in it. Dude.
Yeah, I love Carl Weathers. Actually, have you seen Creed 2?
No, I haven't. Need to.
Not that Weathers is in it, but okay, cool. So yes, apart from that, the teaser trailer, which again, all that slow-mo stuff at the beginning didn't like. The first bit, the voiceover, I couldn't tell that was Mark Hamill.
Really?
Yeah, he just sounded a bit weird. And at the end, I was like, okay, that is clearly Hamill. I do not like the name of the movie.
Right, no, I like the name. Just because I think if you're going to end the sky, it's a nice ending.
Are we assuming that Rey is a Skywalker?
Skywalker
rises.
Kylo Ren is.
Of course,
Kylo Ren is. So it could be the redemption of him, which would be a bit boring.
Well, he's a Solo, isn't he? Not a Skywalker.
Well,
I suppose he's a bit of both.
He's a bit of both. But I don't know. I think they've taken a lot from Dark Empire. I've got a feeling she could be a clone of a whole bunch of Jedi. And I think maybe Snoke was a failed attempt at a clone of a bunch of Jedi, and that's why he looks all weird.
Okay.
I don't know if the Emperor is back. I think maybe he's just a bit of a ghost in the Death Star. I don't know. Unless he's been cloned. So, there's going to be some serious cloning action going on.
Yes.
Rey is someone. She has to be, I think.
Yeah.
So I think they're probably going to retcon what happened in The Last Jedi when they sort of said, you're no one. There's no way she's no one.
Yeah,
she's either a clone or... I don't know. Originally, The Force Awakens was going to open, it's going to pan down, and it was going to be Luke's severed hand floating through space.
Really?
It got leaked and they canned it. And I don't really like that either. Visually, that would be awful. But there's rumours that, that hand is the key to everything in terms of, cloning wise.
Right.
Don't know. I'm pretty excited. I have to say, it looks like a really good romp. I just wish it was episode 8 and not episode 9.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee you, I reckon you could watch this film and have absolutely no need to watch episode 8. You could just go from 7 to 9.
Right.
That's how much I think J.J. Abrams is kind of just ignoring Last Jedi. But we shall see.
Yeah, we shall see.
Yeah.
So I've been catching up on Game of Thrones again still. Obviously the final season episode 1 has already come out. We can't really talk about it because I'm still playing catch up.
Oh yeah.
What are you saying? Are you pleased with it?
Yeah, really pleased.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
A good opener. I'm guessing you're on course. You're going to be a good
I'm quite a bit behind, so I am just finishing off. We stopped midway through episode 9 last night of season 3, which I think is
you're quite into it.
I think it's the Red Wedding. Is it possible? We've got the last 15 minutes to go, which I guess is where they all get killed. And so we'll finish off that and episode 10 tonight. So that's still, as you say, 67 episodes.
68 now. Something like that.
Okay, yeah. So 67 to catch up to end of season 7. So we've got 37 to go. So
that's quite a lot, actually.
If we watch 1.5 a day,
if you make it, that is, because you're coming into. I feel like the weaker.
Okay.
Seasons,
well, let's say. The missus is watching
me.
it. Missus rewatching as well. So let's say 1.5. Let's say we can do 10 a week. It's going to take us 3.5 weeks. It's going to take us 3.5 weeks to get through the remaining stuff. And by that time, episode 4 of the new one will be out. So in about 4 weeks' time, I'll be up to date.
That's not too shabby. But also, didn't you pulled the cord on episode 7, didn't you? Series
7, yeah. Series 7.
Season 7. So you've actually got some new episodes to watch in
that season. So I've got the second half of season 7 is new to me anyway.
Wow. Interesting you didn't like season 7. I liked it.
Yeah.
Gets a bit, everyone, a lot of people have issues with season 7 because they are covering vast distances in nanoseconds.
Yeah, right.
But you got to get past that, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, hang on. You're talking about Game of Thrones and you ain't done no rapping.
I better get on that then. The Kingslayer, he was a player. With one hand he's no king or prince or even mayor. You see the hound, he's lost and found. Ever seen him smile? All I see is a frown. No hard man Bronn, he's got the stones. Do you think Joffrey eats ice cream cones? And the chief has got a question about the Game of Thrones.
That is wild.
Throwing it down. Do you feel that Jamie's kind of turn from heel to face, to use wrestling parlance, was a bit too quick or a shock? Because obviously he's portrayed as a super villain. He's like pushed Bran out the window. He's killing kids. He's killing everyone. Doesn't care. Now all of a sudden he wants to rescue Brienne, and he's having a change of heart and all that stuff. Do you buy that or not?
I would say that whether you view him as a heel or a face is completely in the kind of the viewer's discretion. I don't think they've done anything to turn him. You could easily hate him all the way through because of what he's done, or like most, you start to like him. I think it's a very slow turn. I mean, it's effective. It takes hours upon hours.
I guess so, yeah.
And he's still pretty dastardly all the way through, really.
And I've got another quick question, or I could save it till next week. Do you want it now or next week?
I want it now.
Okay. Who is the villain or hero that you were crying out to become brown bread? Was there one that particularly you thought, I hope this guy or woman meets a real grisly end?
Yeah, Ramsay Bolton.
Okay, yeah.
He's
just about to chop Theon's schlong off, I think.
Yeah, he pops it in the post as well.
Does he? Can't remember.
Yeah, he pops it in the post to his old man.
Brutal.
He is an incredible actor, though. He is an awful person, because it's really cool, because at the beginning you think, oh, no one can be as bad as Joffrey. Yeah. And then Joffrey's tame compared to Bolton, because Bolton just gets off on it all so much.
Yeah. Is that actor now typecast? Can he ever play a good guy?
I don't know. Everyone knows him. I think he's in a Channel 4 show that everyone loved. I don't know. But I don't know, yeah.
Okay.
I know what you mean. If I saw him in the street, I'd be like,
Or you'd go up and stab him.
He just toys with him so much. He releases him, then catches him.
Yeah.
He feeds people to his hounds.
Yeah.
He is
there you
brutal.
Go. Bad man. More Game of Thrones questions next week.
Yeah.
Inside Chief's mind.
Grinding my gears this week. It's happened to me twice this week on my way to work. I've sat down on the train, and it's one of those carriages which has got the tables with the four chair, the four seats.
Overground.
Yes, National Rail. And some chump has got his laptop out and he's taken up the whole space of where I want to put my book or my comic to read.
Right, so you do require the space.
Yeah.
Well, it's just life, man. Whoever gets there first.
Well, two different ways this happened. Number one, I sat down in a chair where someone already was, and they'd taken up the space. Number two, I had my comic on my section of the table. This guy got their laptop out and slowly pushed mine off.
Wow.
Pushed his laptop back.
Some people with like big old PCs, those laptops are big, aren't they?
Yeah. Grinding my gears.
Well, what do you want to do? Divvy up the table?
Just want some respect.
You want some borders?
RESPECT. Find out what it means to me.
You want to build a wall?
Yeah, I want to build the wall, baby.
To be fair,
that scene,
though, dude,
that scene. I've had that scene. That's the only dodgy bit of CGI I've had so far in Game of Thrones is when Snow and the others are climbing up the wall.
Yeah,
a bit sketchy.
There's quite a lot of dodgy CGI, especially in those early seasons.
But anyway.
Hey, with the doesn't it suit? Is a table seat to you the holy grail on a train? Because
no, generally,
for what you're doing, you just want a single.
I'll tell you why I take the table seat, because generally, where I get, it's normally on the way home. Actually, not going to work, where I get the table, and because the last carriage in the train formation is the one that stops closest to the exit at my train station.
Yeah, I love finding that out. Also, better in a crash.
And possibly, the last one, obviously better in a crash. And normally that train, there's normally two types of trains that come, and it's normally the modern one with the tables and the ones without. But the ones with the table, the modern ones, they always have that table in the last carriage. So that's just where I get on at London Bridge, and it just happens to be there.
Mate, you should be counting your chickens that you're even getting a seat.
Yeah,
coming out of London.
There's two getting a seat on the way home is no bother. Getting a seat on the way in is bother. But there's a couple of apps available which I didn't realise. One is it tells you where all the tube stops that have toilets, all the underground stations that have toilets in the station where you don't have to go out of the station. Yeah. And the second one is, like you said, where to stand on the platform to get the best carriage.
Dude, what's wrong with people?
Well, people are idiots. I still maintain 90%.
You're saving what, 40 seconds? I mean,
90% of the population are idiots.
When you go,
the only 10% that are good people are the people that listen to this podcast.
Something turns into, something comes over people when they go down onto the underground.
Yeah,
it's like all the rules, the social kind of everything just goes out the window. I saw some blazers down there. I get on at London Bridge and get all off at Stratford, and it's never normally a problem. However, I had an issue and the Jubilee line, people seem to queue differently to the other lines. There's very civilised queuing formation on the Jubilee line. Because of the way the doors work.
It's very civilised, as opposed to other stations. However, there was a problem on the trains this week, and I had to go a different route via overground train to Canada Water and then get on the Jubilee there. And it was carnage at Canada Water. Basically, there was it was like half an hour of delays. So I was in a queue and there was like two people in front of me. Next time the train came to open the doors, about 5 people just barged past me. Well, couldn't get on. I had to wait for the next one.
Jeez, I can't imagine pushing past the chief.
Well, they'll find something special in their bag when they get to work. Anyway, let's talk about some G.I. Joe comics.
Yes, please.
So, what we've got here is we're going to do Special Missions 5, and then we've got the start of an overarching arc, which will go into the main series, and it will touch an issue of Special Missions for the purpose of this show.
Yeah.
So, first up, we've got G.I. Joe Special Missions issue 5. This is called Showdown. Cover has got a Night Raven, which I don't believe we've seen before.
No.
Flying over the top of a Sky Striker.
Yes.
And someone is Ace. It's not someone. It's Ace is parachuting out.
It's all a bit like Showdown, isn't it?
It's a little bit like Shakedown. You mean this one's called Showdown? The other one's called Shakedown.
Yes.
The cover's okay.
Yeah, it's great. Love it.
This one has got script by Larry Harmer. We've got Herb Trimpe on art, Bob Shireen on colouring, Phil Felix on lettering.
Yeah.
And just talking about Herb Trimpe very quickly, we had a message come in from Doug, if you're listening, Doug, who says, "Hi guys, loving the show, up to episode 18 at the moment. In the opening jabbering, Chief has a problem with human and herb." You remember that?
Yeah.
He says, "Well, let me fix that for you. Herb is a name, herb is the plant. The H is silent." Now, I don't want to correct you. I don't want to correct you, Doug, but you're wrong.
But you're about to.
Because it's herb for both. How can the H be silent for one spelling of the word and not silent for the other spelling of the word?
Crikey.
But we love Doug because he's a good man. He actually says, you don't say Herb Trimpe, the artist on G.I. Joe. It's Herb Trimpe. And calling herbs for plants sounds wrong.
Where's Doug from?
And I said, don't worry, thanks for contacting us, Doug. We appreciate your kind words. He says, no problem, guys. Keep up the great work. Love the across the pond view of the Joes. So my slight on you earlier, Doug, about you being wrong, I take it all back. You're right, because we love good listeners who tell us we're doing good work.
Oh, I thought you were going to say jogon.com.
No, stay with us, Doug. Spread the word. But I do still difference of opinion. That's fine. I still do say herb is for both the plant and the name. But I do appreciate where Doug is coming from. Herb, you don't say herb trimpe. You do say herb trimpe. And just over this side of the pond, we say herbs. It's another one, isn't it?
Rules go out the window.
But also, it's not oregano. It's oregano. It's not parsley. It's parsley. But anyway,
Chief, maybe you should do some audio books on, sort of diction and,
probably hit the New York Times #1 bestseller list.
Could do.
Yeah, you'd buy it, would you?
Oh, maybe.
Maybe not. Anyway, Showdown.
So, very good issue, Chief.
You like this one?
Yeah, Aerial Jinx.
So what's happening here is Ace and Slipstream, Ace in the Sky Striker, Slipstream in the X-30 Conquest, have been sent to intercept a Cobra Night Raven who's been doing some sort of flybys and activities.
Yeah.
So it's like initially it's a 2-on-1 battle, and you've got the new Strato Viper.
He can't stop talking. He won't stop. He won't shut up.
This guy's a macho meathead, correct?
Yeah, he's kind of been genetically engineered so he doesn't have the, what does he not feel? G-force.
Yeah. He's
altitude.
Amazing.
Yeah. He's had his blood chained.
The thing I like about this one is it touches on the common man, because it's almost like the
two maintenance crews.
It's the dichotomy, yeah. So you've got you focus that first page, lovely overhead shot of the Night Raven,
shadows. Lovely.
And the Cobra crew are basically saying what a dickhead this Stratoviper is.
Yes.
He thinks he's the best, blah 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 blah. And then up he strides, and I love the way Trimpe draws these sort of like yellow, or I guess the colorist, but he's drawn him front and center, like he's barging in and just pie facing people and stepping on their toes and being a right dick.
Yeah, he's a flyboy.
He's a flyboy, and then you contrast that to the Joes on their base and the crew there in charge of their vehicles,
giving each other presents.
Couldn't be more appreciative. Yeah, one of them is a bit of a faux pas here.
Gives him
Slipstream has given one of the crew a Megatron toy, and Slipstream calls him Jetfire.
Yeah. But they probably hadn't got the names down by then.
Yeah, they have. I think Transformers 1984. This is obviously 19. Just to remind everyone, this is now June 87.
At the beginning of this, I was like, geez, the Joes are getting their absolute asses whooped.
Yeah.
Up there.
Yeah. So like you said, it's similar to that shakedown issue where aerial dogfight, where the characters are kind of explaining their moves to the reader, what they're doing, barrel rolls, and he does a Top Gun bit, doesn't he? Flies upside down above him.
That's pre-Top Gun as well, isn't it?
I don't know, June 87? When was Top Gun?
Ooh, very similar actually.
Something to look up, but he doesn't flip him the bird here.
No.
But yeah. Trimpe was a great artist, great choice for this kind of story as well, I think.
Yeah, dude, how harsh is the ending? I didn't think they were going to have the guts to do that. I was like, oh, you'll see him swimming off or something.
Okay,
but no, he's just drowning, dude.
So we've got loads of good scenes here, and in the end, the Night Raven has been tagged by Slipstream, because I think at this point Ace has bugged out, or he's been shot down.
Instantly.
Literally,
instantly.
Yeah, it turns into the Slipstream versus Stratoviper show. Slipstream tags him, and your man's going down. The Night Raven and Stratoviper's going down into the drink. He sends out the alert for the Cobra rescue squad to come out.
They're very cash.
They're very slow getting to him. They even mention...
no point...
we could cut a few minutes off our flight time by running the engines up close to the red for the whole trip. What? And risk burning out our bearings? Maintain present speed. So they get there in their own leisure. And
he's screaming, he's drowning, man. He hasn't got the crowbar.
Just as they get there, now this target, he's like, now, where's that breakout tool? The bracket is empty. It's gone. So he's normally got a crowbar in the canopy, in the cockpit, which he can pry the canopy off with. But if you go back to the very beginning of the issue, one of the crew chief, actually removed that breakout weapon, breakout tool. So, and at the time, you kind of don't think anything of it.
No.
But then at the end, they basically killed him. They murdered him up, effectively.
Yeah, he tosses that into the drink.
The guy at the beginning tosses. Oh no, now he tosses it. So the helicopter pulls up. The Night Raven's now in the drink. Too bad those canopy release charges were way overdue for replacement, and the manual release should have been lubed regularly. Still, he should have been able to break out of the canopy. And then some dude says, "What's that?" "That's the breakout tool. I lifted it from the bracket when I buckled him in. Don't get caught with that thing. Don't worry." Chucks it in the sea.
I love that you need a breakout tool.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just drowns. Epic.
Thoughts on this one?
Loved it.
Yeah.
Linear, simple, dark.
Yeah.
Serious. Great. Loved it.
Yojo
Cola. I'd give it a very high 8.
High 8, yep. For me, obviously, the comparison needs to be made to Shakedown. Shakedown probably
hasn't got as epic art.
It beats it out on the basis of, I think Wiggum's art is better than Trimpe's here, and it kind of did it. It's what the old thing, it did it first. It did this kind of story first, so that's always going to stand out a little bit more. And
the dogfighting is nowhere near as good as well. It's not.
The dogfighting is a bit better, and Wild Weasel, and Baroness is a better kind of
bigger players.
But I'm also going high 8. Really, really enjoyed this. Might even adjust it to a low 9. Not sure. I think I might even read it again after we'd recorded this podcast.
Okay, fab.
Good stuff.
So now we're switching up.
Now we're switching up. We're back to the regular series, which is G.I. Joe issue 61. Cover on this one, you've got Snowjob, Quick Kick, and Stalker engaged in a heated firefight, and looks like they got a spotlight on them.
Quick Kick basically looks dead.
Thoughts on this one? On the cover, that is.
I like the cover. Intrigue. Liked it.
Yep. Cover is Mike Zeck and Bob McLeod. Creative team here is Larry Harmer. Marshall Rogers is on art. Danny Belansky is on finishes, Bob Shireen on colours, Joe Rosen on letters. Now, this is an issue where...
Do you want to talk about all the covers, because it's the arc, or...
Yeah, might as well. It's a good shout.
Do that?
Yep. This one... let's do the covers first, then you're right. So the next one is Special Mission 6.
Yep.
Which is... Outback is under some kind of snowdrift...
Love this cover.
Where there's some villains up ahead. Real sense of danger and suspense.
Yeah, I actually really like the idea and the scene. I actually wish it was just drawn a little bit better, actually. But it's really cool.
Yep.
He's under there, man. It's like, yes.
Yeah, that's really good. And then the cover for 62. This is the guys are being escorted off of an old train. They're going to the gulag, guns pointing at them.
Yeah.
It's a good
time
cover
on these covers.
Yeah, it's a good cover in terms of telling you, what you need. It tells the story. It tells you what you need to know. So,
yeah. So we've got a bit of a little mini arc here, haven't we?
So we've got a mini arc which will carry over into our next episode, where we will Yojo it at the end.
Yeah, we basically got two sort of narratives, haven't we? We've got the Cobra Commander and Billy situation with Raptor, and then we've got the Stalker, Quick Kick, Snow Job, Outback shenanigans.
So that latter one, those 4 guys, they've been sent on a special mission to free a journalist who's been taken prisoner in Barovia.
Yeah, they've been given cover, haven't they? And
they've been given, and they've been effectively disavowed. So if they get caught, no one's going to claim responsibility for their actions.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
And in the other one, like you say, Billy and Cobra Commander, Raptor and Fred take centre stage in this little story arc, and Billy has basically got his memory back. He's turned his back on his dad. Goes over to see Jinx, whatever, but he won't. He says, "I'm not gonna spill the beans on my dad. I won't turn on him, but I don't want anything to do with him."
And I wasn't expecting this. Cobra Commander's like, I'm done. I'm out.
Yeah, let's talk about that bit first then, because that's this
Reformed.
It's a real change, because he actually at one point he's pointing his gun on Billy, but then later on he's
done, man.
He's like, wait a minute, what have I been doing in my life? I'm out. I'm going to find Billy. Let's get back to some good times. So,
Fred 7 ain't having any of that.
Fred 7's like, I've had a face change for you, man. I spent my life waiting for all this shenanigans, pulls a gun, shoots him.
Yeah, he goes down.
So Cobra Commander dead.
He goes down, and then you don't see what happens. You assume they've buried him because they come out with shovels.
Yep.
And all muddy.
Yeah, well, he's buried. He is buried. He's dead.
Yeah, I know, but you don't actually see it.
No, you don't see it
on page.
But,
you basically see him get shot, and then Fred Seven's like, "Oh, the great thing about this battle armor is, you've got no idea who's in it."
Yeah, now you got a little twist. Now, like, wait a minute, can he get?
But then no one had seen Cobra Commander in that battle armor anyway. But yeah, I guess.
No,
yes.
exactly. But like he says, he is now going to
try.
Get
the feeling he's going to start to impersonate him.
He's going to start impersonating the big CC.
But they want to wrap up. Everything's good for their plan apart from Billy.
Yes,
that's a problem because he obviously knows everything. So they kind of see it. They get involved in a bit of a car chase, don't they? Yes. Or Raptor does at least. Yep. Tracks them. Where does he track them to? San Fran?
They've gone to San Fran to some language centre.
Yes, that's it.
Which turns out to be like an underground. Or have they got into that bit? Yeah, because I've actually read ahead. So
no, so they're just going in, and Raptor's like he's all excited because he's like, oh great, I can sell this information to Serpentor.
At the end of the issue, he's got his binocs out.
Yeah,
that's right. Yep.
Yeah.
Now,
so all of that stuff is quite good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that.
Interestingly, here there was an interview Larry Hama did. I forget for which publication or where it was, but he's talking about Cobra Commander. So I'll just read out the interview. And the interviewer says, "If there was one thing you could have done differently in G.I. Joe, what would it be?" Larry Hama says, "I should have put my foot down harder about not killing off Cobra Commander." And
wow.
Who wanted to get rid of Cobra Commander and why? Larry Hama. Hasbro. The G.I. Joe animated feature film was due to be released, the one with Cobra La, and at the end of the movie, Cobra Commander dies. Ergo, Hasbro wanted the comic book continuity to match. I protested that Cobra Commander was a very popular character and that it was a major mistake, but they insisted. My only option was to walk off the book, but I have found that quitting doesn't solve anything. So he was going to quit, possibly.
I have to say, I think there's quite a lot you can read between the lines at the moment in this time with the G.I. Joe comic, because Hama's introduced Serpentor, but he really has just left it. I mean, he has not touched on Serpentor for so many issues. I don't think he's a big fan.
Yeah, I think you're right.
He's just zero character development. He's stayed with Cobra Commander,
and even in the other story arc, which is going on across these issues, has nothing to do with Cobra. You know, it's just like these guys.
Basically, it's taken a bit of a hiatus, really.
Yeah, this is almost like a special missions.
But what I'm saying is, in the context of we're rattling through these issues, it's probably been about a year.
Yeah.
In terms of since we've actually seen him.
Yep. That's right. Yeah. Well, he came in issue 49. And we're on now, 62? So it's over. Yeah, it's over 1 calendar year since Serpentor got introduced. And he hasn't really, like you said, participated in a big storyline, apart from that initial one which introduced him.
Yeah, I think he's making peace with him, old Hama. And he's, obviously he does get involved.
What do you think in the art? In this first issue here, which is entitled Beginnings and Endings, it's actually drawn by Marshall Rogers. Now, I think this is the one where Todd McFarlane, who drew issue 60, was down to draw it, and
they chucked him off.
His art was so bad they kicked him off, and they got Marshall Rogers to redraw the issue.
Yeah, it was bad.
But I mean, he does. On short notice, I think he's done a really good job on this first issue.
I really like the. How do you feel about the other storyline? I thought you'd quite enjoy this one.
Yeah, I did quite like it.
I like how it's really serious. I like it.
Really serious. They've gone in, they've met Spigu, who's their liaison in Barovia. They've gone into some local army precinct to bust out this journalist, but he's not there, is he? No. All the cells are empty.
I thought, yeah.
So they're wondering what's going on. They get ambushed. Really nice getaway scene.
It's awesome.
Driving through the town, lots of car crashes and stuff.
They get banged up real bad, and Stalker's like, look.
Yeah, Spigu sacrifices himself to a tank to let them get away. Now they're captured here. They're on the floor. I'm on a page here. Quick kick, snow job on the floor. Stalker on his knees. And Outback has been ordered by Stalker to escape.
Get out
down into the sewer system.
Dude, when they start, I love it when they start getting the petrol down there and they're just just trying to snuff him out.
Yeah.
My favourite stuff with all of this is all the stuff with Outback, kind of the manhunt.
Yeah, that's brilliant. It's like The
stuff.
Fugitive, isn't it? He's now in the sewers. He sees all these rats running, and then he's like, "What's going down?" Like you say, they've poured all this gasoline into the sewers, and they set a cigarette down there, and it's blowing off all these manhole covers. Fantastic. That'd be cool in live action.
Yeah, the way Outback is drawn down there is great too. And then, it is like The Fugitive, and then it sort of he gets a vehicle and takes to the mountains, and dude, I mean that scene where he gets into his Johnny Rottens and he lays out the trap, and he just springs up with his socks pulled up to his knees, and he's in his Johnny Rottens.
Yeah. So he's basically
he's made me really like him as a character.
Yeah. Whereas
before I didn't really have any opinion on him apart from I liked his look, I guess.
Yeah.
But he's cool.
Yeah, he's really good, man. He's a thinking man soldier, isn't he? He's a specialist, and like you say there, they found this body in the snow, but it's just a body stuffed with snowballs.
Chickens.
And he's used chicken blood to pretend that he's wounded, whatever. And then he gets into a helicopter, and he actually has a plan. He's got a parachute, and he flies over. Where is he? He's flown over some. I don't know where he's flown to. He's flown over the border of Barovia. He's
gone over the border into another country where...
I forget what the neighbouring country is. There is hostilities between these two nations. He's flown out. The helicopter with the bad guys decides to chase him, but they've fallen into the clutches of the flak guns of the enemy. And they basically shot him down. Outback's been now, taken, captive by these other... whoever they were, I forget. I don't know. That's an oversight on my part.
They don't know who he is, and he makes a request to see the American consulate, doesn't he?
Yeah, exactly.
So he actually gets out.
He gets out.
He makes it back.
Yeah. We've actually
it's really cool.
Yeah.
When he does get out, because he goes back to the barracks.
Yeah.
And everyone's just fuming, and he's just playing it well cool because he's already been debriefed.
And this is now into the third issue. We've got a new artist. So we've got William Johnson and Arvell Jones, who I believe this is their only appearance. So again, whether this was an issue that had to be redrawn, probably the weakest art of the bunch, I'd say.
Yeah, maybe. It's funny.
Still strong.
Yeah.
But like you say, there's some cool bits where he's come back, and the other guys, especially your old pal Leatherneck, always willing to bust someone's chops.
From 0 to 100 in nanoseconds, man. Yeah. He's short fuse.
Yeah. He's like, Outback, why are you back? Where's the rest of the gang? He
gets that knife on him, though, doesn't he? On Outback.
He was like, I was ordered to leave, and he's like, Leatherneck, if I would have stayed and saved my buddies. And that's it. Yeah, he's lying on a bunk, isn't he? And answer me, you slimy sleazeball, before I... And then Outback's got a knife under his pillow, just in case.
Yeah.
Holds it to Leatherneck's neck.
It's quite cool, because in the context of things, you might not have read Special Missions. So actually, the storyline actually does work if you haven't as well, because he's basically saying, well, all the stuff I was just up to, can't talk about, mate.
Yeah, need to know. He's basically been debriefed. And
I mean, the Joes are basically watching it all unfold on the tube, aren't they?
They get hold of Grunt is here. He's in his new life at Georgia Tech or wherever college he's at, and he's like, get me on the mission, the rescue mission. I want involved. And Roadblock's like, there is no rescue mission. And like you say, it's news coverage now. It's been broadcast to the news that these American, they're being labelled as mercenaries, have come into Barovia to try and do something. And the Joes, like you say, are fuming because they want to go on a rescue mission. They'd been briefed not to.
And I thought this arc was going to get wrapped up because I know you like to do. And I was like, oh, hang on, this is Stalker and the boys. They're still they're in bad shape, man. Yeah.
You get another little section here where Billy's training with Jinx.
Yeah, you find out that Jinx
before they've gone to San Francisco, and they're training with the Blind Master, and he's rolled up her sleeve, and she's got the Arashikage tattoo.
Yeah, but we have seen that before. We have seen that
on Jinx.
Yeah. Saw it in the last issue.
Yes, you're right. And then we get...
it's nothing said about it. But
we get the photo that the Blind Master shows. Family photo. So you've got Blind Master, Jinx, you've got the dude who made the swords, which was Professor Onahashi, the mystic swordsmith. You've got a guy on the end, the blurred fellow, who is... ninjutsu practitioner. His style is that of the now extinct Koga clan, and in every photo you can't see his face.
Yeah.
Any ideas? Do you know that?
Oh no.
Okay.
No.
Right. That's a good mystery for you to try and solve.
Yeah. This is new for me.
Okay.
I have to say, I was actually pleasantly surprised by Jinx because I just remember it being really annoying in the sort of the way she gets introduced in G.I. Joe the movie, and just a bit of a, I don't know, goon, but she seems pretty badass so far.
And then, like you say, later on, that's where they go to San Francisco, to the language centre. And then back in the Gulag, they're in a they're not at the Gulag yet, they're in a train, and they've been given bread and water, and it's your standard prisoner setup. Everyone's clutching for the meagre scraps they've been given.
Stalker's trying to keep it together.
Stalker lays down the law. I said everyone gets an equal share. And
quick kick, no job, still in bad shape.
He even gives some to the guy who tried to steal his shoes.
Yeah. So I mean, it just ends. So how many more issues have we got on this arc?
We'll wrap this one up.
Also, do we rate this, or what's the deal?
No, we'll rate this next, because we'll wrap this up in 4 more issues next time.
Whoa, big arc.
Yeah, big arc. So this is going
That's the biggest,
63, 64, 65, 66. And 67 is actually something of an epilogue, but at the end of issue 66, it has a caption end. So we'll actually
Are you sure you don't want to do the epilogue as well? Makes sense.
We'll actually do... Well, let me just have a quick look at 67.
If it's connected...
67. It's the start of a new... the epilogue is minor, the first few pages, so we'll go up to 66.
Fairs.
But yeah,
66.
What so far, what are you thinking of this one?
I really like it.
Yeah.
Really like it. Cobra Commander's dead. I don't know. It's getting good.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to want to see some Cobra soon, for sure. Aren't you? I mean, we've got to get back to Cobra Island. I want to see what's going on.
Yep, well, you'll get a few inklings into that in the next 4 issues.
Yeah, I imagine we're going to get a truckload of new Cobra characters coming soon.
Well, you're going to get some more Fred 7 action, a.k.a. Cobra Commander.
Yes, for sure. In the battle armour. And I won't say any more to spoil it for you, but... yeah, I'm on to a new trade now. I'm on to volume 7.
Which you've got digital, you're still...
Yeah.
So you're going to go digital.
How many are there? 15?
To the end of the Marvel run, I'm not sure.
Must be. I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, we are balls deep in G.I. Joe now. We're right in it.
Yeah. It's going well.
It's good. Yeah, it's going great, man. I'm loving it.
Good.
For sure. Okay, so just quickly. So what we're doing next, we're doing 63, 4, 5, and 6.
That's correct, my friend.
Got it.
Of course, we can't have a Talking Joe episode without Chief asking Chief Fassbender a question. Chief Fassbender a question. What'll he say? What'll he do when Chief Fassbender a question?
Lay it on me.
What's your favourite stretch?
Oh, I love stretching.
Do you stretch before and after exercise, and sometimes do you just stretch without even doing exercise?
Yeah, so the latter. I do that a lot. Watching TV, just have a stretch. I love it. I don't stretch before exercise. I kind of read that it's better to have a warm up.
Yes.
So more kind of like star jumps or movement based, but definitely stretch after.
Okay.
Is key.
Yep.
I love it. I find it relaxing, but I don't do it enough. It's so good to do. Do you stretch? Are you a supple person? Naturally, I mean.
I do.
What are your hamstrings like? Tight?
No, I think I'm fairly good. I'm actually starting I'm trying to lose some kgs.
Really? What's your fighting weight?
So I topped out the heaviest I've ever been last week, which was 90.2 kgs. I know you don't work in...
That's the heaviest... Yeah, I do work in kgs.
Okay.
Shit. Man, that's going to surprise my brother. He's going to be interested in this.
Okay, so I've got on the old phone, let me just double check here.
You're not really a big lad anymore.
Well...
I think you're sort of considered to be a big boy.
I'm looking at my health thing. I've got on the Apple iPhone, you've got that little health app. And I'm looking here, and I was back in July last year, I was 84 kgs.
You put on some timber.
And then if I look at this graph, it kind of creeps up to about 85 in mid-October, and then from mid-October to now, I put on 5 kgs.
Chief's weight. So are you inputting this data?
Yes.
You regularly
try and do it. Try and do it daily. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Daily.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a combination of things. I'm doing like a soup plan in which 1 meal a day is soup.
Soup kitchen.
I like soup anyway, and trying to cut out refined sugar.
Yeah, I quite like regular sort of fasting.
And
I'm into that.
And starting to do a bit more. I always did exercise, but I'm starting to do a bit more. Regular, because over the winter months, I was finding it hard to
putting on your thick coat.
Go out and by the time I get home and everything, it's like 7:30 p.m. and it's dark, and I can't justify going to the gym or running or whatever. So I just wasn't doing anything over winter. So, but stretching. What's your favourite stretch? That's the question. You still haven't answered it. I was grinding my gears. You not answering the questions.
Okay, hamstring stretches, and I would say my favourite is just like the full collapse. So sitting on your ass and leaning forward, fully collapsing, both hands around the soles of your feet, head on your knees. It takes quite a while to get to that level of flexibility.
Yeah, so I do that one, but standing up.
Well, yeah, that's nice too. I mean, what can you do? Can you get flat hands, or what's the situation?
Very much doubt it.
No. Chiefs pulled something.
Yeah. I do like a calf stretch.
Oh, yeah, very important. Yeah. Dude, yeah, stretching, I love it.
Yeah.
You do look like quite a supple, flexible chap.
Okay.
Because you're not very I'm quite tall, so I've got quite a long way to go.
Yes.
What's your height these days? You checking that daily? Or is that consistent?
I will get back to you on that.
But let me.
I think I'm about.
Have a guess?
See, I don't know. This is a weird one. Weight kgs, height in
5'10".
I think I'm 6 foot.
He's a 6 footer.
I think, but I will confirm that. Do people get shorter as they get older?
Yes, but mainly through hunching. I don't know what your posture's like.
Bad.
You cycle a lot, so bad probably.
But there you go.
Yeah, man.
Tiger Woods winning the Masters. Any thoughts?
I mean, I can't stand golf. I don't watch golf, but even that kind of media storm made it through.
Got into your sphere of.
I watched it. I got involved. It's amazing stuff. A lot of people are saying some
greatest sportsman of all time, or greatest sporting comeback of all time.
Yeah, not really him. Just actually watching it was one of the greatest kind of sporting. Yeah, I think Lineker said almost better than Leicester winning the league or something.
Okay.
No,
because
of just how exciting.
Well, yeah, not in terms of probability, because Leicester winning the league were like 5,000 to 1. Tiger Woods winning this was something like 20 to 1.
50. Yeah.
I think it was actually a likely scenario. So
surely lots of it is it coming from a place where he turned into such an asshole and everyone hated him so much, and he's kind of pulled himself up.
And it's the other two things are he hadn't won a major for 11 years.
That's unbelievable.
And he had of the however many he's won, was it 14? Of all the majors he'd won, he'd never won one when he wasn't leading going into the final round. So this is the first time he's ever won from. So he was a great front runner, but he's always been shit at chasing down the leader.
Yeah,
but this was the first.
And did you watch live?
So I watched about the last half an hour because I was away for the weekend at a board gaming session with my buddies, and by the time I got home, I was only in time for the last half an hour. So probably the best half an hour to watch, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, good stuff.
Is he going to carry on?
Well, Today I tweeted to Sky Bet. They have a request a bet function where you can literally, if it's not on their website, you can just request any bet you want, and then if they do it, they'll give you the odds. And I said I want to request a bet. I want odds on Tiger Woods not to win another major in the next 3 years and not to win another one in the next 5 years, because I don't think he will. And they said, I'm sorry, those are markets we will not be pricing up. So
there you
need
go.
to try and find another bookmaker that will take that bet.
Yeah, back alley.
It's been good. It's been a swift one this week.
Well, you say that, Chief, but we're coming in at the 50-minute mark.
Okay, yes, maybe not so swift, but as good time was had by all.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Make sure you check us out on Talking_Joe on Twitter, TalkingJoeComics@gmail.com, Talking Joe Comics on Instagram. You can get us Talking Joe, a G.I. Joe podcast on Facebook, Also, look out this Friday for our Easter special. You haven't actually heard this yet because I recorded this with Chris from the Full Force podcast, which is another great G.I. Joe podcast, everyone, or Action Force in general, or even it's actually a pop culture podcast in general. Everyone should be checking that out if they're not. I imagine listeners of this show probably are already aware of it. We did a collaboration where we did a 2-hour special focusing on Action Force Weekly. So all the US fans out there, if you're not aware of this comic, which was in the UK in 87 into 88, have a listen at that. And we're going to be dropping that on Friday, I believe.
Yeah, I think I'll listen to that. I'll crack open a couple of Easter eggs and get into that.
Yep, do it. It's a good one.
For sure. Can't wait.
So check out that. And yeah, if you like us, rate and review us. Bump us up the charts. Those funky iTunes algorithms don't do it by themselves. Join us next week for another Fun Pack show, and we will see you down the road.
See you later, guys.